Okay, thank you so much, sir. Um, so basically, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. My name is Dr. Kiran Siraj, and I'm very pleased to welcome you all in today's session. This webinar will be held by me, Dr. Kiran Siraj, postdoc fellow in LAMS, and my advisor, Dr. Naveed Arshad, director of Energy Institute LAMS, and a full-time professor at LAMS. I would request Dr. Naveed if you would kindly introduce yourself in a bit more in detail, sir.
Thank you very much, Kiran. I am Naveed Arshad. I am a professor at the Lahore Institute of Management Sciences. I am also the director of the LUMS Energy Institute. Together with my team, including Kiran and a lot of other great people, we are working on energy access, renewable energy, electric vehicles, and a number of other projects. And we have partners from across the globe. I would extend a warm welcome on behalf of LUMS Energy Institute and would like to share some of the experiences that we have had in our course that we taught, in fact, twice in the remote north area of Pakistan. And today we are here for that. What we'll do is that Kiran will start and will give an overview, and then I will come in and tell you about some of the learnings of the course. So, Kiran, I think you can start with the slides, and then I'll be available as soon as you're done with your slides.
Thank you so much, sir. With that, I would also like to sincerely thank Andrea and the TLP team and UKAID for supporting this important initiative and for creating a space for collaborative learning on sustainable energy education. Andrea, if you would like to tell something about the TLP team or the program.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Kiran. And we're so excited that you are kicking this series off for us. The TLP is a partnership of universities across Africa, South Asia, and the Indo-Pacific, all trying to drive Sustainable Development Goal 7, so driving the transition to renewable and clean energy. And one of the key things in our partnership is creating a strong network where partners can share knowledge and exchange ideas. So the goal of this webinar was to try and kind of kickstart that and hope it can spark ideas for partner universities and just start conversations. So thank you, Kiran.
Thank you so much. Okay, with that, I think we should start. So today we'll be sharing insights, like Dr. Naveed also already told you, about a very unique university exchange program that basically bridges urban and rural institutions. So through hands-on experiential learning, the program empowers students to address real-world energy challenges. It basically emphasizes context-sensitive curriculum, peer collaboration, and the co-creation of locally viable clean energy solutions. So this is going to be our agenda. We'll begin by outlining the core challenge, the basic disconnect, the challenge that we face, the disconnect between energy resource potential in marginalized regions, and the lack of capacity and institutional support to tap into it. Next, we'll look at the role of energy education, why it matters, and how it can be more powerful enabler of change when designed contextually and inclusively. So we'll then discuss strategies for unlocking potentials in marginalized areas with a focus on bridging the gap between urban expertise and rural reality. So from there, we'll dive into the session, which is the LAMS and University of Baltistan exchange model, culturally sensitive curriculum, government engagement, and logistics innovation and hands-on learning. And then finally, we'll move to and we'll wrap it up with call to action, sharing ideas on how such models can be scaled in a sustainable and how they can be replicated in other regions. So basically, to understand the challenge that we're addressing, we need to look between natural potential and an educational infrastructure, right? So on the right,
Kiran, your voice is breaking a bit. So we
You'll
cannot.
see.
The voice is breaking a bit.
So I think there must be a connection problem.
So maybe
Am
I
I
can.
audible now?
Yeah, it is better now. It's much better now.
Okay. So basically, if you look at the middle image, that show learning environments, lab and classroom at urban university. So we can see that the realities of education in a marginalized or rural areas, crowded classroom, basic facilities, and sometimes outdoor setups, right? So these are bright and eager students, but they're held back by the structural limitations and other, which is a very big, major problem, right? But another major problem is urban migration, which is putting immense pressure on city infrastructure as obviously people leave underdeserved rural areas in search of basic services and opportunities. So what is the
Kiran, I
solution?
think
The solution
are
is
you on the second slide? The agenda slide is only being shown right now. And I think maybe if you
sir,
can turn off your camera, probably. Maybe you can
I've
turn off your
turned off
camera.
my camera. Just
Yeah, now we can see the problem and the solution slide.
okay.
But your voice is breaking a bit, so maybe if you want, I can take over and I can go through the slide, and while you can fix your connection.
So basically, how about now, sir?
Yeah, when you say how about now,
Okay.
it's really good. So
Okay, I'm
uh,
gonna move more slowly. So okay, so I was telling you guys about the solutions, and I hope that you can now see the slide. So to bridge the urban-rural divide by co-creating an inclusive, collaborative, and context-sensitive energy education model that empowers youth and communities alike. So basically, this is the solution. Lastly, if you can look at the group photo, it shows the collaborative effort uh, between the urban and rural faculty, partners, and institutions coming together. This partnership is basically the heart of our model that I'm going to share with you guys in a bit. Please let me know if you can see this slide. So I'm on the slide, the role of energy education. Why is energy education important when especially in the context of climate action and sustainable development? So I hope that you guys can hear me now.
it's much better now. I think now
Can you
we can
guys?
hear you much better.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So, okay, thank you so much. So basically, energy education isn't just about knowing how electricity works, right? It's about equipping individuals and communities with the knowledge and skills that make them able to make informed decisions about energy use, efficiency, and sustainability. So it basically builds awareness around energy sources, it promotes conservation, and introduces people to the potential of renewable energy technologies like solar, wind, hydro, or biogas in their own areas. So these are the essential tools in addressing climate change, energy poverty, and environmental degradation. Ultimately, obviously, when people understand better, they become empowered to shape towards the current communities. Uh, so if you can, thank you so much. So this slide basically visualizes or captures how energy education plays a unique and vital role in both urban and rural setting. So if you can see on the urban side, education promotes energy efficiency and sustainable living. People learn how to reduce their carbon footprints through lifestyle choices, for example, like using electrical vehicles, installing rooftop solar, or adopting smart technologies. It basically empowers individuals with the knowledge and motivation to adopt renewable technologies and make environmentally friendly, responsible decisions. But in contrast, if you see the rural part of the image, um, in rural setting, energy education focuses on essential knowledge for energy access. It enables community to use local renewable resources like solar, water pumps, or off-grid system in ways that are practical and sustainable. So overall, more importantly, it empowers rural youth and households to become part of the solution solving energy access challenges from within rather than waiting for interventions. So together, these two settings highlight the holistic role of energy education in enabling energy power and build resilient communities. Okay, thank you so much, sir. So basically, empowering marginalized areas like energy education uh, uh, local capacity for certain unlocks the leadership potential of youth most in a most affected way. So if you can see, the marginalized areas like Gilgit Baltistan have a rich natural resources base. So they are rich in vast lands, they are rich in glacier rivers and streams that can offer untapped micro hydro potentials. These resources are unutilized, but they obviously offer climate friendly low cost energy solution if we invest into them. Secondly, they have like a whole lot of livestock farming and agriculture, basically, which are central to rural economies. And using them, we can tap into the uh, resources or like biomass and um, waste to energy, right? So another thing is that there is a growing youth potential which is eager to contribute, but often it is sidelined and due to the lack of access. And but with exposures and training and tools, these youths can be empowered as a clean energy technicians, entrepreneurs, or educators within their own villages. Um, then communities are rooted in traditions. They are conservative in a very valuable way, in a value driven and cohesive way. Programs that respect their local customs and are delivered in very cultural sensitive ways. They tend gain trust and ownership. So, energy education can be a very powerful bridge in connecting global knowledge with local wisdom, fostering resilience and sustainable behavior change. Uh, then, obviously, because these areas are not yet deeply connected to infrastructural grids or fossil based grids, so they present a rare opportunity to leapfrog directly into a clean, decentralized energy models. Lower energy demands combined with a higher renewable energy potential makes them an ideal test beds for off-grid solars, microgrids, battery systems, and climate smart innovation. Last, one more thing that I mentioned before is it's not just about the energy or skill. When we empower marginalized rural areas with knowledge, opportunities, and clean energy, we basically address a deeper systematic issue that is urban migration. Because obviously, people often leave their hometowns not because they want to, but because they have to. Searching for jobs, education, or just basic facilities sometimes. So by investing in these communities, we youth and families to relocate. Introduce you to our breaking collaboration between Lahore University of Management Sciences and University of Baltistan, Skardu, that is UOB. So as you can see on the map, we are not talking about bridging a distance of nearly 1,000 kilometers, not just physically, but in the cultural sense, in environmental sense, and institution-wise as well. So our goal was very simple. To enable urban and rural students to learn together, immerse themselves in local challenges, and co-create the energy solutions. As you can see the image on the bottom left, which shows the core faculty and leadership from both institutions at the formal launch, making a movement of shared commitment to this transformative partnership. And if you can see the program's motto seen on the top right, it's immerse, interact, and impact, beautifully sums up the spirit of the initiative. So immersion in real world environment, interaction across communities, and impact that is both educational and deeply human. So before I talk about the solutions or tech transfers, let's just pause and reflect on what truly made this program impactful. And that was basically, obviously urban areas, they brought innovation, they They can bring knowledge and tools, and obviously rural communities offered experiences, local insights, and resource access, which are the vital, things to this program. But what truly bridged the gap wasn't just infrastructure or information; it was connection, human to human connection. So the heart of Baltistan experience was youth to youth collaboration. When young people, as you can see in the pictures, from a vast different geographies sat together, learned from one another, and shared stories, it actually built something that was, beyond, it was lasting. It was a lasting bond. So that is the model we need to replicate, because sustainable solutions don't just come from transferring knowledge. They basically come from shared ownership and human connection. And if you see, that is how we actually move from the, up, we move from projects to partnerships, to actual partnership. Because before that it was a project, but now we are in a partnership. You can see the two beautiful campuses of our collaboration, which are the heart of this collaborations. On top, you can see LUMS, located in the major urban center. LUMS brings extensive academic resources, research capacities, and experiences in designing and delivering advanced energy education programs. Below, if you can see, this is a University of Baltistan, situated in the breathtaking but remote mountain regions of Skardu, with this beautiful, beautiful campus. Um, so UOB obviously is deeply rooted in the local context, with strongly community, with a strong community connection and first-hand understanding of the energy access challenges faced by marginalized regions. So together, these universities, they represent the two ends of Pakistan geographic and development spectrum. And their partnership is a powerful example of how we can bridge the divide through education, collaboration, and mutual learning. So basically, this rural synergy is what allows the program to be both innovated and grounded in the basic local realities. Okay, so before I hand over the webinar, the presentation to Dr. Naveed, I really like to quickly walk you through these five pillars of our exchange model. These pillars are basically the foundation of our innovative and human-centered approach to energy education in marginalized communities. As you can see, first, youth-to-youth collaboration, then culturally sensitive curriculum, then third, engaging local authorities, fourth was navigating obviously local challenges, because the program wasn't built for a perfect condition. We have to like embrace logistic constraints, weather, travel, infrastructure, and what I feel is that that our flexibility uh, was the main strength of this program, right? And finally, immersive hand-on learning. So with that, I'll pass the slides to Dr. Naveed Arshad, who will go deeper into how each of these pillars came together on the ground. So if you can please.
Sure. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. If not, then
Yes, sir,
I'll
we
try to
can.
do something. All right. So
Yes, Dr.
these five pillars, I would say that sometime when after 2 years, we can safely say that these were the five pillars. Had we known these five pillars before, we could have done a much better job. But moving forward, for us to do this program next time, or somebody else to maybe replicate this program, we believe that these five pillars are the crux of when you want to create an impact between urban and rural communities and make sure the energy access is provided. Now, the first pillar is youth to youth collaboration. Now, as you can see that youth from both sides, from the urban university and a rural university, brings in different perspective. While their curriculum may have some overlap, they have vastly different backgrounds that they're coming from. The urban students probably have much better understanding of what is happening on the technology side. They have much better understanding. They have much better canvas which they are looking at. And the youth from the rural communities are probably more contextually ground in the that particular area from where they are coming from. They know the values, they know how different challenges they face because they have grown from a very from the birth to this area to the adolescence. Now, This was probably the biggest, you can say, I won't say it a challenge, but I think this is something which we found that created the most impact. I mean, these students, after 2 iterations of this program, have developed long-lasting friendships. They go on trips together. They have close networks, and now on social media, they are even connected with each other. Secondly, youth bring a lot of connections into the community because this community that we are talking about is not a community that is open, that was open 50 years ago. 50 years ago, there was no road to this community. The first road was constructed in the late 1970s, and it was a very small, narrow road. There was an airport that was constructed due to some other reasons, but there were not many flights. The flights used to get canceled. So this area virtually was isolated. Only in the last decade or so, this area has received more attention because they have a really good road network into that area, and also now they have an airport, which is now an international airport. So now the youth is actually feeling that this youth-to-youth collaboration is now much more effective than it was before, and which leads to the second aspect, that this area is very culturally sensitive. I mean, the local values, the local norms are very strong, and people, use them or follow them uh, to the extent that if something goes wrong, they are really annoyed, and one misstep can actually ruin your whole program. If you maybe do not follow one particular custom while you are there, or you somehow, do not somehow you do not respect it, then it can really create a problem. I'll just give you an anecdote that we were there, and it was a religious day on one of the during the program, and there was a holiday, so we thought that we'll just go out for hiking. And there is a custom that when there is some of that gathering is there, you cannot bring a car to that area, and there are typically jeeps. And now they said that this gathering is happening right in the middle of where we're going. So from our original destination, there is this gathering happening. So we cannot take a jeep there. So what we had to do was that we have to stop our jeep before the village where the gathering was taking place, quietly walk in through the street of that village, and then get another jeep on the other side, which was very difficult to do. But had we driven the jeep while the gathering was happening, that would have just maybe could have destroyed the program. So that was kind of a dynamic that we have to be that we had to be very sensitive of, and we need to sensitize the people or youth that are going from the urban set, which is much more relaxed, much more open minded, to that area, that they should be really respectful of the customs of that area. The third one is, since the community has been living together for so long, there is a lot of coherence among the community. And that coherence led to many advantages also, and sometimes not so much. Advantages is that if you know somebody strong in the community, like the village elder or something, everything is open for you. But if you're not able to find that connection, then it is difficult for you to get into the community, especially for some of the interviews we have to do with the stay-at-home moms and other females, which typically are not going out a lot. So those kind of challenges we had. But the good thing was that the community was very open. Once you tell them that this is your objective and you're not here for just fun, it is going to really make some change in the community. They were quite receptive to those ideas. Oh, fourth one. This was a nightmare at start, because since this area has developed recently, taking 150 students from one university to that area, it was a logistical nightmare. There is a road that leads to that area. It takes 36 hours to go, and there are landslides in between. So first time we did that, but it was a horrible experience. We thought that, okay, we'll just use a plane, and almost we chartered a plane which went to that area. But then the problem was that this area has some of the highest peaks, K2 and Nanga Parbat, just lies in that area, and the weather changes very quickly. So there's always a fear that the flight gets cancelled. And if you're on your way into the program, into Skardu, if the flight gets cancelled, your whole program is ruined. But thankfully, nothing of that sort happened. Hotel accommodations was a big problem. 150 students at one place was a challenge. We were able to manage. We were able to get a few different hostels and hotels, and then try to have transport available, which can take students from one area to the other. But I think now, since we have done it for 2 times, we know much better how we have to deal with the logistical challenges. There are other environmental challenges also. This area lies at about 7,000 feet above the sea level. So the air is very dry. And that brings in sometimes sandstorms at that height, and sometimes kind of germs that are not really we are used to in the plains. So that kind of challenge also. So we had to really take care of the health of our students throughout the program. Um, Finally, it was also another challenge that although we have this experiential learning, a typical course, what you have? You have exams, you have projects, and you bring a project report, and then the typical artifacts that you have in one course. But since this was experiential learning course, we had 70% of the time, we made sure that students were outside the classroom. Either they are doing some field work, or they are visiting a power station, or they are visiting a community, or going into the markets, going to maybe just local market, finding out how much LPG cylinder are consumed, those kind of things we wanted the students to do. But then the challenge was that how do you test out students? How do you make sure the students have actually learned? So while we had typical exams and the other artifacts that you typically ask students to produce, what we also did was that the student must present all that in form of a poster at the end of the course, whatever their learning is throughout the course, whatever their project learning is, and they have to present that project to an open display. Anybody from the community can come and look at it, and this was a jam-packed day, and many people came to see that, and that was really the highlight. That became the highlight of the course, rather than the actual exams and other things that we had to do because we had to assign a grade. But those were the more exciting part, and that actually promoted group work amongst the students also. Now, these are some of the poster sessions that we carried out. So we said that, well, you can have a poster or you can have a 3D model. Of course, resources were limited in that area, and you can actually come and have whatever you can display. And people did display a lot of innovative stuff. Then we had a lot of, so this was a 4 weeks, and students were with us in those 4 weeks. It was not just the classes. So we had a lot of excursions. So that area is really rich in natural beauty, and there are some very famous parks there. So there's a I think second highest plain, La Cordeosai plain that is there, and that's about 12,000 feet, 13,000 feet, I believe. There's just a plain of 70 kilometer, and you can just go, and it's a beautiful place to be. Only open in the in 4 months of summertime, and there are many lakes and mountains. So we had a lot of student activities. Students had morning walks, hikes, and a lot of stuff that they were doing all the time. Then they also collected a lot of data from the fields, from the community, and from others. And that actually helped us to make sure that the outcome really was solid. It was not just for the sake of outcome. After the course, we actually were able to develop a lot of different artifacts, a lot of papers, presentations, some policy papers that really helped that community later on. And as we speak, we are still working with them on various projects. Now, we also found out that while we are working on certain problems, of course, certain problems are beyond our, you can say, reach. For example, I mean, it's difficult for us to construct a hydropower dam or maybe have a very large wind farm over there. But there were some low-hanging fruits where we really worked with the community. So one challenge that area had was that the rivers are really down in the valley, and sometimes they have to use the lift irrigation, and there was no lift irrigation policy. So we were able to, together with community, put up a recommendation for lift irrigation. Kiran was very instrumental in installing the first air quality monitor in that area. So while that area is at 7,000 feet, in winters they really have bad air quality because they use these fossil fuels to burn and get heat. Then another thing which one of my colleague Numan Zafar did was that their hospital had an energy issue. And so he designed a special UPS, uninterrupted power supply system, and somebody contributed all the cost of the project, and it was installed. It is working there for the last 2 years, and they're really happy with the solution that we gave. Then there are energy efficient solution and dairy operation. There are lots of dairy in that area. They were facing problem. And then solar dehydrator. So they have these apricot. In fact, that whole area is famous for apricot. That's also called an apricot root. And apricot is a very sensitive fruit. You cannot really bring it to plains, and I mean, it can just die. So the best thing is to just dry it up and then bring it to for mass market. But they had the problem of drying of these apricots, and so there were solar dehydrators that we introduced, and they are now using it. And there were other stuff. I'm just presenting just a sample of what we did. So this was beyond the course. These were the problems that we or the students identified, and later on we worked with the community. We were able to go to that community many times afterwards also, and to make sure that these projects are going on. Now, we believe that this was a great experience, and we would like to repeat it as much as we can, given the constraints that we have. And also, we would like to make sure that we improve upon that what we did previously. I mean, probably we would like to have youth as a co-creator in the courses, and also imparting the solutions there of energy. Of course, we will be working on some contextualized learning models, making sure that cultural sensitivities are taken into account. Then, not just this area, we would like to establish with other remote regions of Pakistan, which also have their own challenges. And then stakeholder engagement. We didn't involve a lot of government in all this experience, because we wanted to have it ourselves first and then involve the government. But I think the government is very receptive, and they would like to repeat this for a wider audience. And I think when the government comes, we can really scale this up. And then, of course, what was missing was some real solutions that we should have been able to deploy while we deployed it later on. But I think now we can show these solutions to students, and they can take and deploy it in their communities. And then one thing is which stood out of everything is that the local community has to own everything. They must have the ability to maintain the system. They must have the ability to absorb the system. They must have the ability to sustain the system, not just technical sustainability, but financial sustainability also. And this was what was a problem for us, that because this area is only open for 4 or 5 months. Tourism is only for 4 or 5 months. The rest of the time, there is no tourism. Only locals live. Even in winters, locals even don't live. 40% of the population of the area just go back to lower plains because it's so much snow over there. But if the energy is provided, probably they have year-round tourism. They can have year-round employment, and that can really change the community. So with that aim in mind, probably we'll be designing the pilots, because of course, living in plains, you cannot imagine that somebody only lives 8 months in one area and moves away for the 4 months. So we have some websites, and we also, the university has developed a video link. I would like to mention over here is that energy was not the only course that we had. We had 4 other courses, one in water, other in e-commerce, another one in tourism, and other one in life sciences. So there were 5 different courses that we had. The energy one, of course, was a more popular one, but there were other 5 courses. So the testimonials and the videos from those courses are available at our website. And inshallah, this video will also be available on YouTube for us to maybe refer it again. So I'll stop here. Kiran, if you'd like to add anything, otherwise we are open for any questions, feedback, comments, please.
Thank you so much, sir. No, I just want to say that I have added those links in the chat. If anyone wants to, just visit them right now. If you have any questions, we can take them now. Otherwise, we will share our email addresses with you as well. And if you want to talk on something like that, or build innovative program for your country, we can help you do that as well. Thank you. Andre, if you would like to share anything.
Kiran, I'd actually love to ask a question if that's possible. I'm just wondering if there was any opportunity from students from Baltistan to visit the LUMS campus.
Sir, you're mute right now. Dr.
Right.
Naveed, you're
Sorry.
mute. Yeah,
So,
thank you.
so Andrea, it's a great question because this can really is possible because the students can they are in the winters. They have their winter break between December to February because there's a lot of snow, so they just close down the campus. While we didn't have a formal program, many of the students visited us later on. And we also have an open door policy at our university, so people from other universities can visit us at any time. So we do get a number of students, especially we had a number of their faculty who visited us, while the student number is low, but the faculty was also visited. We also explored the idea of having those students over at our campus formally, but there were some logistical reasons we were not able to do it because because if we bring so many students, we have to have accommodation available. And as the semesters are going on, our hostels were quite full. So we were not able to do it, but in future probably we'll find a solution to that problem also.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, it's just such an amazing program. So thank you so much for sharing that. I see there's some other questions there.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
please.
Anika, if you would like to ask the question.
Yeah,
Anik,
sure.
Anik.
Hi, this
Sorry,
is
Anik,
Anik.
I'm really sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Dr. Kiran, Dr. Naveed, thank you so much for sharing your experiences. My name is Anik, and I also work in the energy and power sector. So I was really impressed that this work is being going on here in Pakistan as well. And I was curious to see like what's the theoretical framework that you guys are considering when getting on these projects, because I recently had a chance to work with the native tribes of Oregon, considering the cultural sensitivity of their energy development projects. So with them, I had a chance to work on this theory, on this approach, which is called assets-based community development approach. So Dr. Naveed, as you summed up the presentation stating that there are challenges of sustainability of such programs because these areas are not accessible throughout the year, and they have to be financially sustainable as well. And these people must also learn how to, for example, do maintenance and keep the system running. So this was basically one of the objectives that this theory, assets-based community development theory, looks forward to addressing. So I was just wondering if you are also exploring such theories which aim to address these challenges which you just mentioned, or I mean, I'll be happy to talk otherwise later on as well.
Well, thank you very much, Anik, for your question. It's a great question, and I'm glad that you're working in the same area. While this program directly was not targeted towards deploying the solutions, it was mostly a learning program. We have had other occasions where we are working with communities, not just in Gilgit-Baltistan, but in other areas of Pakistan to have deployable solutions. So our notion of this is, or our, you can say, approach to it is quite simple, is that while you can have a very complicated solution, if the community is not able to handle it, there is no point in deploying that solution. So the solution has to be simple enough that the community can handle it. And it has to be, you can say, affordable enough that they should be able to take care of it. What we are doing right now is that working on not only the technology side, but two other sides that often are overlooked. One is the financial side of stuff. And I'm not talking about financial side without any subsidy, which means that if there is no government subsidy, how can you make the system financially affordable? That's the one aspect beyond technical that we're looking at. Another one is the operationability. So how complicated it is in terms of operation. Does it require a lot of maintenance? Does it require a lot of maybe changes to the equipment? So those things. So technical, financial, operational. These three aspects we are working on. And we are working on in a project called wireless microgrids. It's a project that very close to my heart. And currently we are starting a pilot, not in Gilgit-Baltistan, but in the south of Punjab region of Pakistan, where we are trying to develop a model of community-based energy, which can which can provide on a service model. So it can have an energy as a service model that you can do. That project we are just launching in South Punjab, and I hope that by the end of this year we should be able to present some of the results of that project. I mean, to me, it's a great idea, and our team is diligently working to deploy the project. So once that is done, we'll definitely will be able to answer in much more detail. So I'll stop here. And we'll happy to talk about it offline about this.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, so if anybody has question, please maybe unmute your mic and you can say. Otherwise, we'll see that maybe we can go towards a close. Okay, so I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think our Kiran, can you please write our email so that if somebody wants to reach out, they're more than welcome. Although my email was also in the email that you got when you received this link, but specifically maybe if you can write your email and my email so that we can connect with the colleagues who are working in this area. I believe that such courses, final word from my side, that such courses are a challenge to do, but after we have done the course, we thought that, okay, why should we do it? Why shouldn't we do it more? But one thing that is really needed is, you can say, commitment from the top management. What happened in our course, and this you should, I mean, talk to your top management if you are interested in this course, that there will be lots of challenges when you have these experiential learning remote courses that you are doing. Logistical challenges and other things are one, but one thing that is definitely stood out is the commitment from the top management. If the commitment from the top management, whoever is funding this program and taking care of this program, is not there, I would say don't go into it and in a big way. Maybe you can do a small course with few students, and those are possible. But if you want to do it in a big way, commitment from both sides, from the home side and from the away side, and I don't know if I can use the sports term, but both sides have to be there. In our case, the course was super successful because the Vice Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor of Gilgit-Baltistan University was demanding this course to happen. And both years, they actually solved many of the problems for us that we thought that are probably was going to put a lot of hurdles in our course. So the commitment from the top management, whoever is the top management, is key to offer this kind of course for the first 2 times. Now we have confidence that even if the top management is not available, I mean, they just need one, you can say, just nod that we have to do this course. If they can just give us a nod, we can arrange this course ourselves. Financial should not be a problem because we have developed some financial model to offer this course, and we can talk about it if later on if you have questions. So we'll stop here. Again, thank you very much from LUMS Energy Institute, from myself and my colleague, Dr. Kiran. And I would like to thank our sponsors in this talk and also in the whole TLP program, and the funding agencies that are sponsoring this program, University of Cape Town. Also, we are thankful for UK8 for sponsoring this program. I see Shafkat has a question, so we'll have this question and then we'll stop. Please go ahead.
Sorry, meanwhile, there was a 5-minute just prayer gap. I was there. So actually, I am the PhD researcher in energy system engineering at Mehran University of Engineering Technology, and I am also working on the community microgrids, particularly the DC microgrids for the rural electrification. And as far as the today, I means this idea, it was very insightful, and it quite be relevant with the underserved areas, means rural and remote region like Tharparkar in Sindh, where almost among the 3,000 villages to 2,500 villages are unelectrified. only a limited portion is where the grid access is there, and people need such energy education, like as sir you discuss about technicians and all others. Even Tharparkar sir region is quite backward area, as you here compare the rural urban synergies. For this can be also a great case study, like as you have done this one. So I want to highlight that if could be such collaboration like our Mehran University, our research group, and the alums, and can be such collaboration opportunities. It could be the great model for that also.
I think something we are already working with Mehran University on a number of different projects. We have an
Yes, sir.
NRPU chart with them also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You already probably know about it. So,
yes, sir.
and
Wind energy forecasting, particularly
yes. So,
LSTM. Yes.
so microgrids we are also working on, both in DC microgrids as well as wireless microgrids. So I think we can partner up and maybe have
Yes, sir.
some pilot projects and see that
Yes,
how
sir.
can we solve the challenges of energy access.
Yeah.
And
Sir,
if we can solve
recently,
energy access.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
please.
Recently, we had dedicated a complete microgrid, mini microgrid session in our Energy and Environment Sustainable Conference, where Sir Hassan Abbas from the LUMS presented the model. I think that pilot project, sir, you are discussing, means
Yes,
that
yes.
will be,
Um,
yes, sir.
so that's one aspect. There's another one that another group is doing, that is wireless microgrid. So there are two
Okay, sir.
different approaches in which, and wireless microgrid is already, so that has not piloted yet. DC microgrid has been piloted. Wireless microgrid is we are piloting it right now as we speak
Sir,
in
last thing,
Multan.
sir, last thing I want to clear, like in our Sindh World Bank project is there for the solar home system. So can this pilot project of the DC microgrid can be the best alternative to the solar home system that is not actually properly addressing the energy poverty and meet the energy needs? Like they are just providing a simple small solar panel along with the basic kit of the one small fan and two lights.
So wireless microgrid can provide up to 12 kilowatt of load a day. So that should cover most of the small businesses and most of the needs of the community. So it's beyond subsistence. So DC microgrid provides subsistence living. Wireless microgrid provides beyond subsistence. So it can provide and can provide energy to up to 12 kilowatt hour a day.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much to all the participants. And again, we hope to keep in touch. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Goodbye.